His greatest ever player, Lauren Jackson, coming off a virtuoso 38-point semi-final Game 3 performance. And her partner in the post, Mercedes Russell, the only big named in this season's all-first team. Or will it be the speed and youthful exuberance of the Lynx, led by brilliant import Aari McDonald, who's proved virtually unguardable with her speed, agility and skill, alongside former league MVP Annalie Maley, who'll crash the boards and hurl herself at every loose ball with her usual reckless abandon. So much to look forward to as we get set for Game 1 in this best-of-3 series. It's the Southside Flyers and the Perth Lynx. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 23-24 Cygnett WNBL Grand Final Series. Thanks to Foot Locker. Jason Bennett alongside Mark Alabakov and Larissa Anderson for Game 1 of this series. And Riss, well, for Perth, they've had a full week to prepare, which is great physically. So the challenge, I guess, becomes mental to not play the game over in your head before it gets here.
Yeah, they're a really young team. They just scraped into finals and now look, they clean sweep into the grand final. How exciting for them. So I actually think it's fantastic that they've been able to have 3 or however many full trainings they've had and just relax and enjoy this.
Southside, totally different preparation, Mark. They're battle-hardened. They've come in on a tough 3-game physical and emotional series against the Boomers. Their challenge, different. They've got to peak again.
Absolutely. And I think, being battle-tested, as you said, in the trenches, I think in recency bias, that helps. But certainly, they've got so many match winners that have got championship experience and grand final experience. You've got the likes of Mercedes Russell, Beck Cole, who've been in these grand finals before, and then Leilani Mitchell and Lauren Jackson. They're former grand final MVPs, and I think that makes them dangerous. It's
been a rollercoaster season for both of these teams. Southside were 3 games off the league lead at one stage, but found their best form down the stretch to qualify second, while Perth sat second mid-year, lost Aari McDonald, slid to 6th. They needed a minor miracle in the final round to even make the finals. That all panned out, and they've been playing with house money ever since. Then came the semis. Southside replicating last season's win over the Boomers. They won Game 1, lost Game 2 and recovered in Game 3, while Perth scored an epic 1-point win in Game 1 on the road against Townsville, then swept the reigning champs in Game 2 to make their second grand final in 3 years. Time now to welcome in the 4th member of our commentary team this afternoon. Candy Hertz is courtside. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hi guys, happy Sunday, and what a day it is to celebrate a grand final in the Cygnett WNBL. A couple of milestones to enjoy. Veteran Leilani Mitchell celebrating her 200th WNBL game today, and younger Nadia Poch has her 50th WNBL game too. Also, it's interesting to note that coach Cheryl Chambers is just 2 wins away from having 200 WNBL wins under her belt, the exact amount that's needed to win this grand final series. Now, normally at this pointy end of the season, teams don't really get a chance to have proper heavy training sessions. Not the case with the Perth Lynx, though, because they were able to do it in 2. They've had an entire week's break. In that week, they've got 3 huge training sessions in there. Very helpful for a more inexperienced grand final team. When it comes to the Southside Flyers, they were on this exact court just 3.5 days ago, so they haven't had a chance to get any training in, just a couple of shoot-arounds. That's okay. They've got 6 players in their team that have been in championship teams, so they know what they're doing when it comes to grand finals.
Yes, the most tantalising aspect of this grand final matchup. These teams completely opposite in just about every way, and that starts with their list demographic. The Flyers, a huge edge in experience, an incredible 1,243 total games amongst their 9 regulars. That's 813 games more than Perth. A collective 22 WNBL grand finals for the Flyers, 13 championships across 6 players. Lauren Jackson has 5 on her own, and for context, Perth as a franchise, just the 1 title, 1992 as the Perth Breakers. And from a coaching perspective, Cheryl Chambers, 5th all time, this her 6th grand final. But the flip side to all that, Mark, is that this age difference suits Perth perfectly. Their whole system's suited to being young and fearless and running the veterans ragged and letting it fly.
Yeah, and they don't need to change a thing. They're fearless, fast and furious, and to beat the Flyers, they need to pack the paint. They're going to impose their style of game. They can't foul, they can't give up high percentage shots, and when the Southside Flyers average only 6 3-point makes, which is second last in the competition, if they shoot those at less than 25%, they lose. That will lend itself to the ball landing long in a rebound. They've got to transition in 7 seconds or less. With Aari McDonald, they've had 47 points and 60 points when these 2 teams have matched in combined points off turnovers and fast break points. And then their order of thinking, get the ball into the key quickly, get on the free throw line, kick it out for 3-point shots, and when the Flyers adjust, get it back into the key again.
Risk 2 totally different styles in this grand final series. So what are Southside's keys to success?
I think ultimately they really need to be disciplined in their execution in the half court. Perth will not be able to guard them in the half court. So go to their twin towers, kick it out, get the ball through Leilani Mitchell's hands. Ultimately, that will hopefully slow Perth's transition down. There's no other way to do that other than being disciplined, and then they must win the rebounds.
Congratulations to the Flyers and the Lynx on qualifying for the grand final. Best of luck to both teams. Now the battle begins. Southside experienced, deliberate, precise. Perth, young, fearless, chaotic. Who'll strike first? Best of three. We're away in the grand final of 23-24, thanks to Foot Locker. Two teams that have lost the last two grand finals. Southside and Perth. Cole, Mitchell. Russell sets up inside. It's knocked away by Maley. Leilani keeps it alive. Off Goodchild. Defensive work from Annalee Maley, one of the game's elite defenders. Here's Mitchell, lets it fly. Jackson. As Atwell hits the floor. Whistle goes. Early foul on LJ.
That was a really good block out by Atwell there. And I thought a great defensive set by Perth Lynx.
McDonald. Maley. Atwell has been deadly from long range. What a way to start the grand final.
Big time three. She doesn't take a whole lot of time to get that shot off. As soon as she's got her feet set, it's going up.
The three-point shooting percentage has been extraordinary this season, and she is a weapon for Perth. Rochi to the corner. Cole to respond. Not quite. Russell in there under the hoop, and it'll remain a Southside ball. Amy Atwell has been on fire from long range, shooting at 39% this season.
I really like the Perth Lynx rotation defensively on that set at the moment.
Mitchell to Jackson, to Russell, good ball movement to Cole. Jackson tries to take position on the inside. Mitchell, offensive foul. Scrappy D from Goodchild's rewarded.
And one thing that you notice too is the Perth Lynx aren't guarding Mercedes Russell when she's outside the three-point line. You see Potter sitting inside the keyway, being an extra zoning defender, encouraging the Flyers to play from the perimeter.
Perth like it, fast and furious. They want speed and chaos. Southside will be happy to pin them in the half-court game. Goodchild against Mitchell. Well done, Leilani.
Great help by LJ.
Here is Jackson. Goodchild seems to have the matchup on her. She rolls across to Potter now. Jackson versus Potter. LJ, there's that turnaround jumper. And away comes Maley. Annalee looking for support. Finds McDonald. Potter to put the screen on. Rochi cuts back the other way. Went right, came back left. Potter in there scrapping. Away comes Rochi. She's always happy to put some speed on the ball. Mitchell thought about it inside to Russell. Jackson. Rochi. Drives to the rack. Rolls around. And away comes Goodchild. Miller. Tough finish. Great mate from Miller. Goodchild.
We're both looking at each other going, oh my goodness, that was so off balance, but what a great finish.
First 5 points of the grand final to Perth in this best of three series. This game one. Thanks to Foot Locker. Mitchell to Russell. Cole gets to position. Tough finish. Picked off again by Maley, and Maley will use her speed here. Will she pull up? Bounces it back out. Potter. Goodchild. Another little floater from Miller. What a start she's made. Drew a foul at one end, makes a couple at the other.
7-zip start by engaging Lauren Jackson in the pick and roll, being able to turn the corner, little floater over the top. I like her aggressive mindset, but more in particular, the shot selection from the Flyers, it's aiding the way that the Lynx want to play. 4 of their first 5 attempts have been from outside the key.
First 7 points go the way of the visitors. This timeout brought to you by CTM Sport, here to transform your team's travel experience. ctmsport.com.au. How does Cheryl respond?
You can rebound if you're in it, okay? But let's take some better shots. Against the zone, we got the high-low on Slim. You get it here, let's have a look back in here to it, okay? We're just not moving the ball, we're not being smart, so we're going to go high-low. Next play, we're going to go weak. Actually, we're going to go 2 out here. Let's go 2 out here. Look for the high-low. Is everyone on the same page? And then we can rebound it. Here we go. No middle penetration either. Here we go. Southside.
So we're expecting to see quite a lot of zone defence in this series because neither side's really equipped to match up the other. Southside probably can't match them in the full court, and Perth can't match Southside in the half court.
Yeah, it's going to be really engaging to watch that, but the main focus then was all offense. They haven't scored yet, which is remarkable, and Cheryl just wants to see a little bit more execution and better angles on the post feeds.
Rochi, Mitchell, back to Maddie. And Flies settle into the game here. Jackson, Maley has the job on her, and then Potter rolls across. Mitchell puts it on the floor, a slight stumble there from McDonald. Well done, Potter. Atwell. And here's Maley. Again, just pulls up. Encourages Jackson to come at her and just pops it over the top.
You just mentioned the zone defence. That was a really nice change up by the Lynx. They're out of the timeout, ready for that man offence.
Hole inside to Jackson.
That's what they needed.
The Flyers are on the board after Perth score the first 9. McDonald responds, not quite. Rolls around, drops out. Away scoots Rochi. Jackson posting up on Atwell. Gives it off, Russell a fumble. Away comes Goodchild, who started well. Runs into Cole. No whistle. McDonald, long range three is great.
Misses the layup, makes that one. What a massive 3.
The margin sits at 10. Russell to Cole. Perth have flown the blocks here. Rochi, Mitchell, Cole. There's the inside ball they want for Jackson. Potter's got an enormous part to play in this series. As Perth's one genuine big. McDonald drew a crowd. Dish to Maley and she drains 3.
My goodness, they are pretty to watch when they execute like that, aren't they?
Well, Mark, we know they jack up more threes than everyone, and when they drop, they can score in a hurry. We're seeing that here.
Absolutely, and if they make more than 11, they haven't lost a game.
They've started well. They're 3 for 3 from long range. Mitchell to respond, they needed that.
Sure did.
The 2-time grand final MVP comes up with a big bucket.
Veteran steps in.
McDonald, she says okay, but not this time. Jackson, Mitchell and Cole, so much experience in that trio. Beck kicks it out. They work it around to Russell for the baseline shot. Again, Potter, but she coughs it up. Mercedes can float one over the top. That doesn't drop either. Cole scraps, but she's out of bounds in the process. And Emily Potter already having a very big influence under the hoop defensively for Perth as we head courtside to Candy.
Yeah, listening in on the last time out with Ryan Petrick, understandably really pleased with how his team started. The big thing which he's told them to focus on is just to guard a little tighter. Clearly they're doing a good job of it, given the fact that they've only limited them to about 5 points. Interesting to note as well when it comes to Perth, as they make the big buckets. Their uniform they're wearing today is the Indigenous jersey, and the reason is because they just feel really connected to the story behind it. It is about the Jara woman, care about the community, and they wanted to honour that today.
There's Scanny. Carly Ernst into the game. That won't go either, so shot's just not quite dropping yet for Southside.
And the Perth Lynx are doing an amazing job on the rebounds.
There's that first 7 seconds trying to get the shot up. It doesn't drop that time for Maley, but you can see the speed at which Perth are playing. They're trying to blow up some of these Southside veterans. Whistle goes, bodies crash under the hoop. Potter doesn't like the call. As we said, she's going to have a massive role to play this afternoon, Mark, but the speed of Perth, they're just relentless.
They are, and you know, we talk about this game being one that's a balance of rhythms, and I think, Riss, you talked about the half-court execution being something that the Flyers need to lean into. The game's being played at Lynx's tempo, and you can see even when the Flyers are in the half-court, they're not settled. They're rushed in their decision-making, rushed in their ball movement, and their shot selection is suffering.
So Jazz Dickey into the game, such a difference maker with her athleticism. Rochi knocked away from Clinch Hoykard, who's come in for Potter. Rochi gets some space, puts up a 3, front iron. And here is Clinch Hoykard, who's got some important relief minutes for Potter to play. Maley, Atwell. And away comes Rochi. No hurry from a Southside perspective. They're happy to try and slow the tempo down. Cheryl Chambers telling us they don't want to get sucked into playing at full throttle all game. They can't do that. Ernst made a living out of that.
She's just such a great target, and their twin towers just keep coming in, one player after another, and they've got to use that. That was a great basket.
McDonald down the other end, not this time. And away comes Dickey. So that's the thing about jacking up the threes. When they drop, you can score in a hurry. When they don't, it's an opportunity for Southside to just steadily grind their way back. And we're seeing that now.
That's a great backdoor cut by Rochi there.
They'll play in fits and starts, Mark, won't they, Perth this is, depending on whether those threes drop. Because if they don't, it gives Southside the chance to go down and string together some points of their own.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, and that's why in the keys to the game, I'm saying it's got to be key first, get some rim touches before it comes out, and you'll have more time and space on the three-point line. They've taken 3 of their past 4 attempts from the three-point line as a primary option.
Southside have stabilised the situation. Margin back to 5 with 3 minutes to play in the opening term. Chippertoni into the game. She and Goodchild and Gorman will all rotate through, and Atwell just so deadly.
It's pretty automatic on that play, isn't she? Such a quick release.
The second season in the system after a great college career, and she is blossoming. Knocking on the door of the Opals, Amy Atwell. Rochi will take on Gorman, gives it off to Dickey. Gets to a position she likes. And away comes Maley again. Clinch Hoycard. Here's Atwell. Feeling it.
You just can't leave her like that. The Flyers have got to address this pick and roll D pretty quickly.
She's up to 9 points, Amy Atwell, and here comes Nadia Poch, one of their better defenders. She might have the Atwell job. Russell. Dickey to respond. And Maley, whose ability on the boards is going to be critical in this series and this as well. Her ability to run, push the tempo, create opportunities on the outside.
Oh.
Banks it. If you don't mind, Steph Gorman. Perth Lynx, a 6 for 10 from long range.
But it fits their style. It went key first, kick out. They had more time and space to shoot that 3, and Gorman knocks it down.
So it goes from 5 points the difference to 14 just like that. Dickey stripped, foul called. And we're going to see these massive ebbs and flows and momentum swings. Risk for Southside, it's just a case of weathering the storm when Perth get on a run.
It really is. Look, for the most part, I actually think Southside have done a pretty good job at executing, and they're just not knocking their baskets down, but they have put a lot of shots up from outside. And for Perth, they've taken a few rush shots, but geez, you can forgive it with the way they're shooting at the moment.
So there's those couple of minutes of Clinch Hoycard to give Potter just a couple of minutes on the bench to recover and go again. Russell calls Rochi to her. Gorman's got that job at the moment, one of their best defenders. Rochi draws a crowd. Russell works through Potter. Tough finish, and Mercedes makes it good.
Really important touch for Russell there, and again, high percentage basketball inside the paint.
Chippertoni, the veteran. Kicks it out. Look out. Not this time. Knocked away Gorman. It will be a Southside ball. Amy Atwell up to 9 points on 3 of 4 from long range. 5 for Maley, 4 for Goodchild. Well, it's all been by committee for the Flyers. 3 each to Mitchell and Rochi lead the way. Just over a minute to play in the opening term. Game 1 of this best of 3 grand final series. Great to have you with us on the home of Hoops ESPN. Thanks to Foot Locker. Mitchell. Poch lost the handle, but Dickey collected it. Jazz finishes. So classy. The 24-year-old.
Dickey's being very aggressive offensively. Would feel very good to make that basket.
Chippertoni. Potter comes rumbling towards the hoop. Russell rejects. Maley scraps. Kicked out. Chippertoni from long range. It's still alive. Goodchild. Final 30 seconds. Goodchild. Potter. Nowhere to go. Gorman. Maley from the corner. Swish.
How's that extra pass? Perth Lynx are playing really pretty basketball right now.
7 for 13 from three-point range in the first quarter. The Lynx have got 21 of their 27. Mitchell, final play. She jacks up a 3. That won't go. Dickey is fouled by Gorman with 1.2 seconds on the clock.
And that's what you love about Jazz Dickey. She competes for possessions. She locks the ball up close to your basket. That's going to limit the Lynx's ability to get the ball out cleanly and then run back the other way.
Been a real difference maker in this series. Gives them a totally different feel on the floor when she checks in. Cole to Russell, needs to be a catch and shoot. It's really good.
Lovely execution to finish the opening term for Southside. They were on the ropes early. They were covering up, ducking and weaving as Perth threw haymakers. And at quarter time in game one, it's Perth 26, Flyers 16, thanks to Foot Locker.
I'm still pissed off from last season where we lost the grand final. Our season, I think, has been a bit of a roller coaster up and down, but I think we have found our groove and we're humming at exactly the right time. We need to be respected. When we're on our A game, I don't think anybody can stop us.
Perth were on their A game in the opening term, 26 points to 16 on the back of 6 3-point makes in that opening term. As we head courtside to Candy, what did Cheryl have to say at the first change?
She said they're pretty happy. She feels like she's got their legs under them and a bit of momentum as well. As you can see, Jazz is out. They put LJ back in. The focus is to get LJ and Mercedes on rebounds. Also, they're okay when Maylee shoots it overhands and they can't get to it, but she's not okay when Amy's shooting it and they're not guarding her properly, so to focus on the switch.
Thanks, Candy. Amy Atwell 3 for 5 in the opening term. Lynx lead it by 10 as we start the second at Parkville, and that's exactly what we're talking about. That one rattles out from Atwell. And away comes Mitchell. Potch knocked away by McDonald, picked off by Potter. Now Maylee having a real impact. Go ahead pass to Goodchild. She misses the open layup.
That was such a good transition basket, though. Perth have just missed those couple of little easy layups, but they'd be very happy with how they're coming about.
Russell, Potch. Mitchell wants to go inside, you can see, to Jackson, but she's covered by Maylee. Potter comes out. As Russell's shot is heavy. Potch will, no, not quite finish, but LJ, the putback, that won't go either. It's been the story so far for Southside. They just haven't been able to drop those shots, and McDonald runs into Mitchell and draws a foul in the process. So, Marka Labakov, what's working for Perth in the opening term?
Well, challenging the Flyers to take the types of shots that they want that are likely to land in long rebounds and then being able to run off the back of it. So they get down the floor. There's 19 seconds left on the shot clock there. Within 5 seconds, Erin McDonald's on the tip of the rim, and all three of the Flyers' tallest players are back behind half court.
Erin McDonald up to 6 points.
Larissa Anderson, if you're Southside, what adjustments are you making?
You've just got to be really patient with their offense. You can see Perth, I'm actually really impressed with their half-court defence, and it's forcing the Flyers to really, you can see here, move the ball around until they get the perfect inside-outside game.
Cole steps inside. Little floater from Beck won't go. Slapped away by Maley, picked off Atwell. Will she get to the three-point line? Oh, clever. Mitchell came out to confront her at the three-point line, so she popped it over the top to a wide-open Goodchild.
And that's the challenge when you're the Flyers. When you design a way to win, you design a way to lose. Jackson and Russell weren't even over half court as the ball was going through the hoop.
That's the plan for Perth. Run the veterans off their legs. They know that the likes of Jackson are going to get their looks offensively. Can they burn them back the other way? Mitchell. Cole steps out. Big bucket required, and the veteran delivers.
Really big basket there. That would have felt very good for Beck Cole. I mean, they're moving the ball really well, but have a look at Perth's defence on the post. Nothing's easy.
McDonald, little shake and shimmy and score.
She is really hard to guard, and now she's got her eye in, so look out.
She's got it all, doesn't she? She's got speed, she's got skill, she's got incredible agility, Mark. She can just stop, start, and turn on a thread.
Yeah, she's an incredible scorer, but she's such a force multiplier for the others. In the games that she's been back with the Perth Lynx,
Jackson makes a big three.
Games that she's been back, they've had 4 or 5 double-digit scorers as a result of her gravity.
LJ then pulls down a defensive board as well. Flies back within 11. Biggest lead is 15 for Perth. Mitchell knocked away Goodchild, and again Potter in good position to pick it off. Maley. Here's Atwell, wide open. Swish!
All credit to Annalee Maley finding her shooter there. That is just great transition basketball for a transition team.
Amy Atwell, 12 points on 4 of 7 from long range, all 12 coming from outside the arc.
Can I piggyback on that point, Rhys? Emily Potter ran right through the middle of the court, posted up, and then Amy's defender went to try to blow up a certain layup, open up that kick-out three-point shot.
7 minutes gone in the second term. Perth 36, Southside 22. Cygnett WNBL finals thanks to Foot Locker.
Run. I know it hurts. It is killing them. Right here, we're in 3. Again, the closer they get to that three-point line, the more frisky our guards have got to getting that thing bum rush back towards half court. If it's out here, we're fine. We good? 1 possession of 3.
Game 1 of the Cygnett WNBL Grand Final. It's Perth by 14 points, early going second term against the Southside Flyers. Dickey, Russell, Rochi, back out to Jazz. Just grazes the front iron. Clinch Hoycard off to Atwell, who's been electrifying with 4 3 balls. Is it 5? She's fouled and it drops. Amy Atwell on fire.
Is she what? What a basket.
She's made 5 of 8 from long range, and now she'll go to the line to shoot the extra. Extraordinary first quarter and a bit from Atwell.
And if you don't like that, you don't like WNBL basketball. That is as classy a finish as you'll see.
Perth are just doing such a good job. We just saw out of the timeout there, they came out into the zone again, and it's just really, it's really got the Flyers out of their rhythm at the moment.
They trail by 18 points. They've just got to hang in here. We've talked about weathering the storm. They need to dig in right now. Candy Hertz is courtside.
Well, Cheryl's not going to be happy with that last play because pretty much her main message was just make sure you find and stick tight to Atwell. Also, the message was to keep the ball more inside.
Thanks, Candy. So the question is, how is Amy Atwell getting so wide open?
I don't think she was actually that open there.
Not that time, but the previous shot, she was all alone as Beck finishes for 2 more.
Well, Jace, that's what happens when you allow a shooter to get her eye in. And, like, she is absolutely on fire now.
That one was blocked. Cole back the other way for 2 more. Can't finish. Mitchell there. That won't go. Off hands. Perth ball.
I know I've said it, but Perth are doing a phenomenal job. Full credit to them on the rebounds.
They lead by 16 points as we approach the midway point of the second quarter.
We can see a zone from the Flyers here.
Good child. Clinch Hoycard back to Mila. That one's offline. Dicky DeRocci.
I think Potter might need a rest fairly shortly. This has been a very fast-paced game for her as well.
Cole. Jackson versus Potter. Out to Ernst. Good child scraps and comes up with it. And again, they'll look to push the pace. Off hands. Stays a Perth ball. It was interesting listening to Ryan Petrick's last time out. He said to his players, look, I know it hurts to play this way, to keep running, but it's hurting them more.
Yep, absolutely, and encouraging them to run. I mean, that's going to be their point of difference, and if they're relentless with that, it makes a massive impact when you play against the Flyers. The first game that these two teams competed against each other in the regular season, the Lynx had 60 combined points off turnovers and fast breaks.
Troy Card puts it on the floor against Jackson, and LJ says, no, no way, kid.
Yeah, she didn't agree with that shot at all.
I still like this for the Lynx. They've leveraged the three-point shot, and right now it's hitting. And I think, Jace, you've talked about before how the Lynx are very feast or famine from that three-point line.
Here's Atwell again.
If there's one player you have to find.
This is extraordinary.
Oh my goodness.
Extraordinary. She's hit 6 of 10.
This would be doing Cheryl Chambers head in.
Jackson to Cole. Amy Atwell with one of the great first half performances in a WNBL Grand Final. Bodies hit the floor.
I always love an Annalee Maley and a Carly Ernst matchup. Watch it closely. There you go.
They both end
always
up
entertaining
on the hardwood.
Yeah, they go hard, no love lost. Leave it all out there.
Annalee Maley spent one season with the Flyers in 2019. Maley coming off the bench in a season where they made the grand final but couldn't win it. This is their 4th grand final in 5 years, 2nd in 3 years for Perth. McDonald from long range. Jackson to Rochi. Cole. Ernst. Dickey. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Jazz goes against Chippertoni. Tough finish, well done.
Really tough finish.
She wants to drive the ball. You've got to keep your feet and body away, like Amy Atwell did initially.
Maley. Inside, outside, clinch, Hoycard, Chippertoni. McDonald, back to Mack, feeds it inside. They can get it done in multiple ways. This time it's Maley under the hoop.
Just great ball movement. I mean, that's how you break a zone. Keep moving the ball.
Rochi to Cole. Confronted by Clinch Hoycard, has to pop one over the top. That doesn't drop either. Those 50-50 shots right now for Southside just not dropping.
They're not, but they don't come out of their half-court execution. That's a broken play to me, so it forces the Flyers to have to try and accumulate their score off individual brilliance as opposed to working together as a team.
We talked about 2 completely different styles and which system is going to get on top and who can have the game on their terms for longer. Well, it's almost exclusively been on the Lynx terms from the start as Annalee drops another one.
This is unbelievable shooting, but it's also they've found their form. They've got their eye in, but the Lynx are nearly 50 points with 4 minutes to play. This is unbelievable shooting.
They are 10 for 20 collectively from three-point range in the first half of game 1 of a grand final. Extraordinary basketball. Ryan Petrick must be thrilled. His team up by 22, and everything they've planned for, Mark, is coming to fruition.
So far, and you've got to keep it rolling. I mean, there's so many dangerous scorers for the Southside Flyers, and they're a quality lineup. You've got to stay on this tempo of trying to force outside shots, run at every opportunity. I'd like to see them commit to getting the ball back on the rim, try and get themselves on the free throw line as well as fatigue plays a part.
Rochi to Russell. Can Southside slow this tempo a little?
Great pass.
Jackson under the hoop. And LJ comes up with a couple. She's up to 7 points.
That was one of their better executions this half. That was really high percentage.
Atwell clatters into Cole. So from a Southside perspective, we keep harping on this to an extent, Riss, but once the train's up and rolling like it is for Perth, how do you rein them back in now? How can you get, if you're Southside, get the tempo back on your terms?
Well, it does. It becomes the express train once you do that. But what they've got to do is one possession at a time, just peg away at this. It's their defence right now. They're just not closing out shooters.
Clinch Hoycard through the lane. Not quite. Jackson. Here's Rochi. Nice step, gets past Chippertoni. Tries to breeze past Maley. Won't go. Still there. And Chippertoni comes up with it. Another 50-50 that goes Perth's way. Look out! Look out!
Oh, my goodness. How good is this to watch?
7 for 11. 22 points, Amy Atwell.
And Perth hasn't lost a game this season when they've hit 11 or more three-point shots.
Let alone before half-time. Dickey knocked away by Gorman.
I think Perth is shooting a better percentage from the three-point line than from the two at the moment.
They're 47% from the two and they're 52% from the three. Riss, so you're right. Kick it out for the high percentage shot.
Give up the open layup, take the three.
It's unbelievable. Rochi weaves her way through as she does, and that one does drop. Flyers need some buckets to fall their way here. Margin at 21, 2.5 to play. Chippertoni working on Dickey. Needs some support, goes herself, turns around. Not there.
No, probably not the shot they wanted there.
Cole being harassed by Gorman. The screen came from Jackson. Gorman trying to guard both. Near impossible to do, and LJ hits a big three.
Just a shootout. Great spectacle of the WNBL.
But not what Southside are looking for, Mark. Speaking with Cheryl Chambers, she'd rather a 70-65 game. It's Perth that like the triple figures.
Yeah, and you look, 2 of their past 4 possessions have been plays within the paint and they've been able to get themselves certain scores. And like I've mentioned earlier, it locks the ball in close to the basket, then you can get numbers back in defensive transition to slow this run.
This timeout brought to you by Cygnett, Australia's #1 digital accessories brand, continuing to power the WNBL, Australian-owned and designed, available at JB, Officeworks, other leading retailers, and of course at Cygnett.com. Here's Cheryl.
I want you on Atwell and don't give her a touch. Okay? It's all her. As soon as we lose the ball down here, she's looking to shoot that three, so you're looking at not letting her get the ball every single time. The rest of you need to hightail it back on D-Trans and find everyone else here. You've got Ari here. Okay? Offensively, Horns is good for us. We can look at, make sure you roll high. Yeah, you're okay? Let's make sure we can, if they're in a man or a zone, we're going to run Horns next play, okay? Whoever she comes off, roll high. The other one, get it, then go high-low out of it,
we need
okay?
3 stops here, 3 stops.
Here we go. Let's lock them down. Southside, players.
So Jazz Dickey's got the big job on Amy Atwell, who's got 22 points on 7 of 11 from long range. And Larissa, it's a little bit the opposite to what Southside had in Game 3. They had LJ, who was virtually unguardable. Right now, it's Atwell that's causing them the problem.
It seriously looks like they have flipped game plans here. I mean, Perth are actually more focused on their half-court defence and running off it, and Southside are just not getting any good stops at all.
McDonald kicks it out. They've got other options from long range. Let's not forget. And this is Steph Gorman. As a collective now, they're 13 for 23.
Unbelievable shooting.
Rochi, Russell. Nice from Mercedes. They need their bigs to get more involved. LJ's got 10 points. Russell's now got 6. Here's McDonald again. Here's Gorman from the corner once more. Cop that!
But this is the trouble when you play with such a tall lineup. Ari McDonald's going to take on Jackson. She's going to take on Russell. Maddie Rochi rushes out to try to blow up the layup, leaves a wide open Gorman in the corner.
Russell back the other way. Crashing in was Maley. Scintillating basketball from Perth. Atwell to Gorman, who's got a hot hand all of a sudden. Pops it over the top, not there for Potter, a little big. And away comes Cole.
Right idea, though.
Yeah, tall, not that tall.
Now Beck does hold up, and they set up in the half court. Goes herself. Tough shot.
Very tough, but nobody else touched the ball in that possession. I mean, that's not the best use of all of the offensive weapons that the Flyers have. It's great for the Perth Lynx, where you force them into isolated efforts that you can guard as a whole team.
Final minute of the opening half. Now it's Anna Lee open.
Oh, my goodness.
This is extraordinary.
But how is she that open? I mean, the Flyers are trying to mix up their D, but they've got to cover shooters.
14 for 24, make it 15 for 25.
I just don't think it's the time to go into a zone. They're just shooting unbelievably well.
This is as good a half of basketball as you could hope to see, and the Perth Lynx are pulling it out in game 1 of the grand final.
I think you're right, Rhys. I mean, when you go to a 2-3 zone, you're effectively clogging up the paint and opening up the perimeter for people to be able to take, or encourage them to take, perimeter shots. But that's been the whole MO for the Perth Lynx, so you're allowing them to do what they've been doing really well.
Yeah, I don't think they need that encouragement.
Rocci to Mitchell. This crowd at Parkville just stunned by this phenomenal shooting performance from Perth. Rocci to Russell. Nice move on the inside.
It's a great move. But having said that, you can't fault that Cheryl is just trying to mix up her defence and try and make something happen here.
Final play of the first half. Will it be Amy? Why not? Go from anywhere.
Why
She
not?
does! Not this time.
You can forgive her.
What a first half of basketball from the Perth Lynx.
Unbelievable.
They've been the #1 offence all season, and Ryan Petrick says, when we're on, we're unstoppable. When we're off, it's a mess. But in that first half, they were well and truly on. They average 84 points a game. They're up to 60 by half-time. Game 1 of the grand final. Perth 60, Southside 37. Just extraordinary basketball from the visitors.
Unbelievable basketball. That was so fun to watch. But having said that, Perth have been here before. A whole half to go.
Here's Candy courtside.
14 of 24 threes. What a clinic you're putting on here with the three-point shooting. How excited are you with this effort?
Yeah, super excited. I mean, obviously it's nice when we're hitting shots. Still a lot of game left, and they're not always going to fall, so we've got to clean up some things still.
You've been able to limit Lauren to just 10 points. She was on double that at this point last game 3 when she was here. How are you doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've just put a concerted effort, the whole team effort, into Lauren and shutting her down and not leaving it to one man. Still 10 and she's killing us. I mean, there's a reason it's Lauren Jackson, but yeah, I mean, just extra focus from us.
You said there's still a few little things to adjust. What do you think Ryan's going to say at this halftime?
Keep running, but I think defensively we need to clean some things up. There's some defensive breakdowns, scout-wise and stuff like that we can clean up.
Good job. Great first half and good luck for the second half.
Thanks, Ed. Okay.
Amy Atwell, 22 points in the first half and a side lead by 23 at the major break. Halftime, game 1 of the grand final coming up. It's our halftime show thanks to Foot Locker, and as we head to the break, here's the top 3 plays from the semis.
This season has been absolutely wild. It's a credit to the league, how far it's come. It's exciting. Like, what more would WNBL fans want?
LJ from deep.
Come on, LJ.
Lauren has been huge for us. Seeing her come back from injury is really special, and she's been a key part of our team, just in our success. Everybody is special. Everybody plays a part in a major role in team success, right? It's not just one person.
Our season, I think, has been a bit of a roller coaster, up and down, but I think we have found our groove and we're humming at exactly the right time. And, have that belief within the team that you can go and win this chip.
Mitchell inside to LJ. Out to Russell. Beck from the corner. She responds.
We've been really connected. We've been playing relentless together as a team, and we're just going to continue that and fight as hard as we can in pursuit of a championship.
And the fire burned brightest. Townsville are WNBL champions.
I'm still pissed off from last season where we lost the grand final. That stuff stays with you, and I've won a championship with the Flyers before, and that feeling is unheard of, and I think it would be extra special it being, my first season as captain, and just, I really believe in this team and I believe in our coaching staff, and we just have such a special connection, and you don't always get that, and just to win the championship would be, the icing on the cake.
We wanted to end up in the finals. That was a big goal for our team, and we did that, and I think we're very proud of that, but obviously we're not done yet.
I do think we're the team to beat. Like I said, if we come as a team, as a whole, and we bring that energy period from quarter one to the final buzzer, I think we are definitely going to be hard to stop. We need to be respected. When we're on our A game, I don't think anybody can stop us.
So the Flyers / Rangers into their 10th grand final in 33 seasons. They've been a wonderful franchise. They've lost 3 of their last 4 grand finals, and they're on the ropes in game 1 at halftime. They trail by 23 points after an exhilarating shooting performance from the Perth Lynx, Larissa Anderson. We talked about youth versus experience. Well, youth fired the first shot. Up and down the court, got the game on their terms. Now the experience needs to kick in. 1,250 games of experience in this Southside locker room. They'll be getting together as a group. They've all been in these sort of positions before and dug their way out. Where does it start?
Hopefully they watch that clip at halftime, because everything they need to do, Beck Cole was just speaking about, they need to stay together, they need to remember what works for them and remember that their experience could really help them every possession one at a time in this second half. They've done it before against Perth, they could do it again.
Mark, everything we spoke about that's Perth's basketball in that first half came to the fore. They got the game exactly the way they wanted, and more importantly, they executed on the opportunities they created for themselves.
They did. They had 24 combined points off turnovers and fast breaks. When they get 35 or more, they win, as according to their averages this season. But they've had the 14 made threes. They've been able to play quick in transition, but they've only got the 14 points in the paint. If they can commit to trying to get themselves layup-type opportunities, you can see on screen, they've only had the 2 free throw attempts. If they get themselves on the free throw line, that gets them some rest, keeps the scoreboard ticking over.
This game has been rocketing along at a ferocious pace. The first half of basketball, Larissa, only took about 40 minutes because there haven't been much in the way of timeouts. There haven't been a lot of fouls called, which has meant it's just been up and down. It's been like a beat test for 2 quarters of basketball. I
think the Lynx are keen to get home. They are just in and out. It has been a phenomenal pace to watch, and very entertaining. I've really enjoyed watching it.
Amy Atwell came back after a wonderful college career. Her first season last year in the WNBL, she showed some wonderful signs. This year, she took her game to another level. And now today, she's taken it to another level again, Mark. She's an exciting prospect in Australian basketball.
She is, and I got to work closely with her in the NBL 1 season at Bendigo. We tried to open up her game as a scorer. So she's a world-class talent from the 3-point line, but her ability to make plays off the dribble, make decisions out of pick and roll, these are all things that have come to the fore this WNBL season. And you're seeing her shoot incredibly from the 3-point line right now. As soon as she gets some attention, you'll see her go to the bounce, and she's just as effective.
So coaches always talk about not being beaten by what you know, Riss. We saw Cheryl Chambers say, hey, listen, Jazz, you've got the job on Amy Atwell. Everybody else sort out the rest. We cannot let Atwell continue to beat us. The risk, of course, is the likes of McDonald and Maley get involved. But if you're Southside, you've got to take Perth out of their comfort zone somehow.
Yeah, look, you do. And they've allowed Atwell to get her eye in, and so now the damage is done. They've got to try and undo that somehow. You cannot let her get any more touches. But as you said, then somebody else opens up. McDonald is such a tough guard, but I mean, we laughed about it. They are actually shooting a better percentage from the 3 than what they are at the 2. So right now you have to cover out well. And now, I mean, Maylee, credit to her, such a great first half as well, and McDonald. So, but you've got to let something else go. Defensively, they've just got to become a lot more focused than this on shooters.
Well, we have witnessed one of the most scintillating halves of basketball we can remember in recent WNBL Grand Final history. 60 points on the board for Perth in the first half. It is half-time. Can Southside start to grind their way back? They trail by 23, but when they played earlier in the year, they trailed by 20, only lost by 2. Plenty of experience. Can they get the game on their terms in the third term? Third quarter action next.
This will mean a lot. Obviously, I came here to get better, to create bonds, but I think the championship, that was obviously #1 on my list for coming here. So, I mean, this will mean a lot for just the Perth organization and the city of Perth. So, I mean, anything is possible.
That's exactly how they're playing. Anything is possible. They snuck into the finals. They feel like they're playing with house money in this afternoon. They're just rolling. Hit me, double, go again. They're up by 23 at half-time on the back of a scintillating first half of basketball. 34 points in that second term to 21. They led by 10 at the first change, 23 at the half. Candy's been inside both camps. What do you got, Candy?
Yeah, assistant coaches on the Southside Flyers said that they just need to be a lot more aggressive on defence and a bit more patient on offence. I also had a quick catch-up with legend of the game, Trish Fallon, and asked if she was coaching Southside, what would she say to them? She said most likely she's going to get them out of zone and put them on man-to-man and make sure they put someone tight on Atwell. Chatting as well to the Perth Lynx, Ryan Petrick and his squad, they literally said nothing. I said, do you not want to share anything? He said, no, we're changing nothing. So expect to see the same from Perth as we just saw last half.
Thanks, Candy, and why not? It's the onus completely on Southside to make some changes and try to do something to adjust the momentum and the flow of this game, Riss.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were just chatting off air that if you're Southside, you have to just focus one possession at a time, and my goodness, find Atwell. On the flip side, Perth have nothing to lose here other than, obviously, they can basically decide the tempo of the game here. They're either patient and keep flying it away. If it knocks down, they keep going.
Southside, so experienced. They've got winners all the way down their roster. As we mentioned, 13 championships spread across 6 players, Mark. They've been in difficult positions before. Even this season, they've been in difficult positions and fought their way out of it. They've got to do that again this afternoon.
They do, and I mean, you mentioned earlier, in round 4, these two teams played, and it was almost a mirror image of this. Perth was up 20 at the half, and Southside still won the game by 2.
Inside to Russell. Rochi thought about letting it fly, decided not to. Cole wanted to go inside to Jackson. Mitchell does now. LJ, great start for Southside. When you're 23 points down in a grand final, there's one player you want on your team, Riss. It's Lauren Jackson.
And every flyer touched the ball then. That was much better movement, inside, outside, and her absolute textbook turn and fade away. Lovely basketball.
Jackson 10 points in the first half, up to 12 now. Potter goes to work on LJ. Jackson does enough. Away comes Russell. A little bit of noise in the stadium now for Southside. Can they string together some consecutive baskets and just slow the tempo to a level they're comfortable with? Russell, Rochi, pops it over the top. Go to LJ at every opportunity, you would think. Doesn't drop this time. Atwell. Off to Potter. Thought about the pass inside to Melee. Rochi got involved to try and break it up. McDonald versus Rochi. Ari just playing a part this afternoon as a bit player, but one that always has to be guarded. She's got 8 points in the first half on 3 of 11 shooting. Mitchell. Rochi versus Goodchild. Back to Mitchell, inside to Russell against Potter. As Mercedes take her on, she puts it on the floor, tries to get inside. Lovely move.
Great move.
And that's what they need to do. There's better execution from the Flyers. They've got the ball into the post twice for 2 scores. It's more Southside basketball.
Just got to chip away. Potter's shot is short. Well done, Melee to Goodchild, and they come up with 2.
I mean, that's not the shot Perth would have wanted from Potter like that, but again, Annalee Melee on the boards, cleaning up.
Annalee Melee, 15 points, 5 rebounds. Has played a wonderful supporting role. She's been Robin to Amy Atwell's Batman so far. Russell. If Mercedes and LJ can get going, Southside can get this game back on their terms. Bodies hit the floor, whistle goes. McDonald down hard.
She appears okay.
Just loses her footing.
Trips on Maddie Roch. We've discussed this before this season. If a player loses control from tripping over someone's foot, you've got to call it.
What have you made of the first 2 and a bit minutes, Mark?
Well, I mean, the tempo's back on the terms of the Southside Flyers. This looks more like the type of game that they want to play. You've got the ball into Jackson and Russell for 2 scores. Those 2 have made 11 out of 20 shots between them.
Potter. Over the top for Atwell. Another little win here for Southside. You do just feel like there's a spark.
Yeah, they're playing both ends. They've played some good defence other than the missed block out, and they're executing the offensively really nicely.
So a couple of critical minutes here for Perth. The Southside look to rally. Mitchell. Rochi for 3. That'll get them going.
Yeah. Big 3 there by Rochi.
Margin of 16. Atwell to silence the crowd. She banks it.
I was just about to say they need to be a bit patient here, but Atwell's like, no, I haven't touched the ball. I'm going to shoot this.
Patience, smatience. Yeah. Back out to 19, and Amy slams the door shut.
And Amy called the banker.
Russell, Cole for the response. It's heavy. Mitchell, well done, Potter. Has managed to pounce on some loose balls today, Emily Potter. Melee Pulls up. Won't go.
So we heard Cheryl discuss in the timeout that she's okay with those mid-range Annalise shots and the Potter shots. It's the Atwell shots that they want to cover.
Colt knocked away. Well played, Atwell. She takes the lower percentage. Thought she was going to pull up and hit the three. That's been her go all day.
I'm surprised she didn't.
Jackson fouls her on the way to the hoop.
But that shows you how much she's been able to elevate her game. She gets the ball from a deflection and a steal down the floor in 4 dribbles to the tip of the rim, gets herself on the free throw line. If they can commit to trying to play through the paint and trying to get on the rim with stuff, especially in this third quarter, they can have a slew of free throw attempts out of it because the Flyers are tired. They've had to get up and down for a whole half. It's going to be fatiguing to have to defend the rim at pace.
Great college career in Hawaii. She was the Big West Player of the Year in 2022, and off the back of that became the first Western Australia to make the WNBA via the draft, and she was picked up by LA at pick 27 in 2022, played 4 games and then got cut. Came back to Australia. Had a really good season last year in Perth, and this year has just gone to another level. Lovely find from Mitchell to Cole. Southside just looking to chip away here. Maley to McDonald. Needs to take Rochi on. Runs into some traffic. Had good defensive position there, Southside. Some tall timber to try and work through. Mitchell. Rochi. Jackson for 3.
It's lucky by Perth. You can't leave LJ open on the 3 there.
McDonald. Maley. It's almost a shock when they miss. Rochi. Cole. Does she take on Atwell? Nothing much doing. Russell hauls it in. Back to Beck. Looks to pop it over the top, and Atwell says,
Really good help defence there. Potter's doing a fantastic job staying at home, clogging up that key, and their rotations are really effective at the moment.
You've praised their half-court defence today, Riss. I mean,
I know.
It's the three-point shooting that catches the eye, but they've also held the Flyers to 48 points midway through the third.
Yeah, it's not meant to sound disrespectful. Perth just aren't renowned for their defence. They outscore teams. They've done a fantastic job today in the half-court.
Well, the numbers just say it. They're number 1 for offence and number 8 for defence. Atwell, they trap her. Ball's still there. Can they keep it alive? They can. Chipatoni to Maley. Is it airy time? 4 seconds on the shot clock. Maley comes up to provide a screen. Airy, tough shot. Great D from Southside. Can they go back the other way and score quickly? Mitchell inside. Dickey wasn't ready for it. And Perth dodge a bullet there. Now Airy's happy just to slow things down a little. Game being played at a frenetic pace.
That's better.
Lovely, outside. And the way they're shooting the 3 ball today, why not? Chipatoni joins the party.
Well, McDonald's just kind of looked at a couple of, they've had a couple of shaky possessions the last few times. That's a really solid basket there.
Just like that, they've steadied nicely. It was 23 at halftime, it's back to 22. Russell. Short, away comes Potter. Again, no timeouts in this third term so far. It's just been up and down. It's been a gut-busting game 1, which suits Perth just fine.
Every time the Lynx get the ball, you can hear Coach Ryan Petrick shouting out, go, go.
I think that's 3 on LJ.
It is. So the Lynx have managed to weather the early rally in this third term. We knew Southside were going to come out and try to grind their way back into the game, and they got back within 16, and now Perth have steadied it nicely. McDonald, there's that acceleration. Well done, Rochi, no call from the ref. So Southside ball.
Referee's letting him play at both ends right now.
Russell, a little miscommunication, and McDonald pounces, forces the turnover.
Lots of errors happening here. A bit of fatigue could be kicking in. I mean, there was a lot of running. I'm tired watching it. They must be feeling it out there, Flyers in particular. I think this is all to Perth's advantage, that I know they want to keep pushing it, but they also have the opportunity now to just slow it down and get some really high percentage looks.
Jackson sits down. 3 fouls, as you mentioned, Arish. She's got 12 points. Russell's got 12. Well, Atwell has 27 and Maley 15. McDonald to Gorman. Perth showing us a bit of half court. Chipotoni receives from Maley, gets isolation one-on-one with Mitchell, shoots over the top and scores. Nice vet play from Alex.
Just close your eyes and, I mean, seriously, their percentage is unbelievable.
She's comfortable down there, Chipotoni. She's a tall guard. She's comfortable playing in the post and outreaching, out-muscling smaller guards.
Yeah, she was very poised too.
Jazz Dickey from the corner. Into the last 3 minutes of this third term. Maley to McDonald. Tries to get past Dickey and kick it back out. Clinch Hoycard will put up a 3. Why not?
Well, that's exactly what she wants. She's a pick and pop player. They've got to cover that.
An excellent three-point shooter. Clinch Hoycard. This has just been extraordinary. Dickey's trying to go basket for basket at the other end. Perth now 17 for 30. And there's Chipotoni working hard in both directions. And we do finally get a timeout. And the Lynx have extended their lead. They're out to a game-high 27. This is the Cygnett WNBL Grand Final, Game 1, thanks to Foot Locker.
Trans offense, home run layups, naked threes, no issue. Everything else, pull it out, on ball the shit out of them. We good? So again, I know you can make that jumper, but up 23, pull it out.
The other side and then attack it. If you have an open 3, we want you to take that. That's a good shot. We want to continue to do that here. Okay, so we're switching and staying in front. Anytime there's a mismatch, if we happen to have a pure mismatch, we can black it out if we need to. All right? So let's see if we can spread the floor.
3 stops again. Let's go.
A little bit of one up, get from one side to the other. Here we go. Southside.
It's Game 1 of the Cygnett WNBL Grand Final, best of 3 series. Perth jumped out of the blocks with the first 9 points. They led by 14 in the opening term. They extended that to 23 at the half. It's now out to 27 points with 2.5 minutes to play in the third. Riss, what have you made of this third quarter?
Oh, well, again, it started on the Flyers' terms, but now Perth have flipped it around. And this is going to be interesting to watch because in one timeout you've got Cheryl saying we want to switch everything, and in the other timeout you've got Patrick saying let's pick and roll the you-know-what out of them. So that's going to punish the Flyers if they do that.
Dickey. Rocci gets free. Jacks up a 3. Off the iron. Well done, Poch.
Yep.
Nice fight from Nadia. Comes up with 2.
That's what they need. They need to find some energy from players.
Good child against Dickey. Takes on Russell and Mercedes swats it away. Little burst of energy here for the Flyers. Cole. Tough finish. Fouled in the process.
Now, one of the things that can be a great idea when you play against a fast-breaking team is when they take an early shot at one end, you get it and you go at tempo back the other way. It's difficult to play fast downhill and then defend back in the opposite direction. So that's a great play for the Flyers. It doesn't suit their personnel with the size they generally play with, but Beck Cole's as good a transition player as any in the league.
Beck misses the first, 84% career free throw shooter. That's just a sixth miss of the season now. 25 of 31, make it 26 of 32.
Unbelievable to think that is the 7th free throw in total for the game.
This game has just gone at breakneck speed. Goodchild throws it away.
Goodchild's trying to put it on the floor and attack, but just a little bit out of sorts the last couple of possessions.
Flyers will keep on coming. Veteran team. So much experience in big games. Well done, Clinch Hoycard. That was brilliant. Gorman then runs into Rocci.
Interesting if they call a foul or jump ball. I think it's a foul.
Here's another look.
Yep.
Just tackled
Very
down
much a
by
foul.
Gorman.
Yeah. That might have been a free kick in the AFLW.
Banged her knee on the floor, Maddie Rocci.
One of the things that's interesting is there's not many coaches in the Cygnett WNBL that are as brave as Coach Ryan Petrick to rest his starters. If I'm not mistaken, you've got one starter on the floor right now for the Perth Lynx. I mean, this is a grand final. You want to make sure against a team the calibre of the Flyers that you hold this lead, but resting his starters for a big fourth quarter push.
Yeah, hopefully that shooting hand's not on ice in that well on the bench at the moment.
Potter and Goodchild, really, two of their front liners that are on there. The rest, as you say, contributing, coming off the bench. Chibatoni, uncertain of her options, needs one to present. It's Goodchild. Shot clock down at 9. Still got some time to work something here. Mealer the behind the back. Now kicks it out. We've spoken about Clinch Hoycart from long range.
She actually checked her feet then too to make sure it wasn't that nasty long two.
She's the best three-point shooter in the team at practice, would you believe, which is saying a lot given that you play alongside Amy Atwell. But Mac, says Ryan, is the best of the bunch. Margin of 27. Cole wants an option. It's Rocci. Shot clock to 4. Maddie's got to put it up. She does. It's short. Can Dickey keep it alive? She cannot. With 32 seconds to play in the third, the margin sits at 27 points.
And he lost absolutely nothing from giving his starters a break then, and now they're coming nice and fresh, and they've actually gained the lead, increased the lead.
And I think, that accumulates over a season where you trust your bench like that. They come in with role clarity, they believe in themselves, they feel like they're contributing. That adds up and that pays dividends in finals games like this.
Yep, so the other three starters come back in now. McDonald, Maley and Atwell.
That's just a great drive and finish by McDonald. Recognised that the split line wasn't coming across and she finished it.
Final play. Southside finish with a bang here in this third term. Russell the screen for Rocci. Dickey puts up the shot. It won't go. Potch got a hand on it. Potter, still time. Oh,
Yeah.
not the big girl from top. Oh.
That would have been icing on the cake.
Emily Potter trying to get one done for the bigs. Everyone else seemingly has dropped a 3-ball this afternoon. Emily with a massive smile on her face, and why not? Her team leads by 29. Final change, game 1 of the grand final. Perth Lynx flew out of the blocks. They had the first 9 points of the game. They led by 14 in the opening term, got out to 23 at the half. And at three-quarter time, It is a game-high 29-point lead in game one of this best-of-3 grand final series. It's Perth 82, Southside 53 with 10 minutes to play at Parkville. Amy Atwell leading the way with 27 points, 15 for Maley, 10 for McDonald. And for the Flyers, it's been their bigs, Jackson and Russell, combining for 24. Mark Alabakov, Larissa Anderson. Where to from here?
Well, there's only one quarter left. There is a whole lot of work to be done. And so Cheryl Chambers is going to be put in a position here that give it the first few minutes. And if it's not looking good, they've got game 2 to think about.
McDonald. Maley knocked away. Remains a Perth ball because it was a Southside tap. McDonald, shot clock down to 4. And once again, knocked out of bounds by Southside. Can the Flyers, even if they can't get back from here, it's 29 points, can they get something going, Mark, that they can take into game 2 to go, you know what, that works for us. We can go back to the well and build on that.
Yeah, well, they've had profit going inside to their post, but you can't do it in a way that's predictable.
Anything's possible today from long range for Perth. When that one was let go, you're expecting it to go swish.
You really are.
Absolutely. But look, for the Flyers, you know, can you move the ball side to side, pump it inside, and then support it with offensive rebounds? I mean, their whole MO is going to be, can they get points in the paint? Can they get second chance points and wear down the Lynx?
LJ from long range. She's up to 15.
And you just saw Maddie Rocci up and in. McDonald didn't even get the ball out of the corner that whole possession. So they absolutely have to try and send a message that, yes, you've got us so far, but we're not going to give up easily this quarter.
Maley, Potter from the stripe. A bit heavy, and away comes Russell to Mitchell. Southside have got 10 minutes of almost learning and scoping for game 2, maybe probing and trying some different things. That keeps working. Just go to LJ. She's up to 18.
How about that pass from Mitchell? That's, I mean, just perfect height, timing, because the defence wasn't that bad, but just that slight delay getting over that screen, and Leilani found her.
Margin of 23. Can LJ get hot in this final term? At least create a little bit of pressure. Something to just impact on Perth.
And Perth trying to go inside to Emily Potter. In 2 of the games that these two teams have played, Potter's had a double-double. She's yet to score, but has the 9 rebounds.
Atwell, baseline.
Too close.
Inside her range. Rocci. Potch. Russell. Follows her own ball, well done, Potter. Maley, look out. Mitchell came from the blind side.
Just watch Perth's rotations on the post defence there. Full credit to the adjustments they've made for this game.
Atwell calls Chibatoni towards her. Goes herself. Well done, Russell. Got in the way. Maley kept it alive. 4 seconds, and well done, Southside. Jackson off to Rocci. Looks for some support because Perth have got numbers back. Jackson again. Hello.
Great start to the 4th quarter for the Flyers. And who else but LJ steps up.
Back to 20 points. They've cut 9 off the margin in just 2.5 minutes.
Yep, just like that.
Atwell, Maley, McDonald, Chibatoni. Huge bucket from the veteran.
And the Flyers committing to the 2-3 zone. It was profitable for them early in the season in a similar situation, but this is a different Lynx team.
Mitchell won't drop. McDonald comes up with the board. Every time Southside have threatened to rally, Perth have slammed the door shut on their fingers pretty quickly. Can they do it again? Chibatoni again. Oh yes, Alex. Playing a perfect role player's game, Riss. Coming off the bench, doing her job in both directions.
Credit to her. She's shown us she's got the post inside. She's put it on the floor, and now she's knocking down threes. She has been a steady head for them for sure.
McDonald lost her footing, so just holds up, gains her balance. Airy from long range. Why not?
Why not?
All of these baskets have been out of pick and roll play, so they're so great with their decision-making and aggressiveness against the switching defense from the Flyers.
20 for 35 from long range today as a team. Potch is short.
You can just see when the Flyers are switching, though, there's just no pressure on the shooter. They're standing off too much. So they've either got to adjust the switch to be really aggressive or they've got to change it.
Potter gets to the rack and LJ gets her 4th foul.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Rhys. And, you know, in this particular pick and roll here, you know, Maddie Rochi's got to fight over the top and try to stay with the guard. You can't be playing for a foul. This is the grand final series. Stay in the fight. Otherwise, it's 2-on-1 against Jackson, and whatever she does is wrong. Erin McDonald is either going to score or she's going to give the ball to Potter, and then you're out of position. You've got to foul her to stop a layup.
Spoke about the importance of the battle of the boards today. Emily Potter's had 10 rebounds. Maylee's had 8, and they're up +4 on the glass today, Rhys. It's been a factor.
It really has been. They have been solid to their game plan the whole game. For such an inexperienced team, full credit has to go to Petrick and his staff.
Emily Potter yet to score this afternoon. If you just look at the box score after this game, you go, oh, she was quiet. But, Mark, she's had a massive part to play.
She has, especially rebounding the ball. And that's the thing with the Perth Lynx. You can be a scoring threat imminently all of the time, but you can contribute by just going and keeping possessions alive. Because of the tempo that they play with, they're going to drag 1 and 2 extra defenders to try and stop those open threes, those open layups. And on the weak side, you can clean up a lot of possession play.
Jackson sits down with 4 fouls. Away comes McDonald. And again, we've seen Perth destabilise the situation. When Southside looked to rally, Jackson hits a few threes early in the final term. And Perth get back on top. Margin at 31 now. Game high. Rochi. Ernst.
Look at that rotation coming across.
Foul this time.
You can just see the ball's in the air. McDonald was already on her way to go and double team Russell. I'm really impressed by the focus that they've clearly made in their week off to make this tougher defensively. I mean, they've clearly got a huge height advantage, the Flyers over Perth, and Perth have done a great job to combat that.
Southside averaging 80 points a game. They're at 62 with 5 minutes to play. And that remains a Flyers ball. As Dallas Luffridge is into the game for Southside.
And you're spot on, Larissa. I mean, you know, where it's predictable that they're trying to play that way, they need to play that way, but it can't be so scripted that, you know when it's coming, where it's coming from, because then you can anticipate and disrupt it if you're the Lynx.
Rochi to Ernst. Poch to the rack. Nice from Nadio.
Great drive there by Poch on her 50th game.
Maylee.
Probably not the one to remember.
Disappointing. From Southside, McDonald flips it over the top. Good pressure, Luffridge, well played. And away comes Rochi. Ferocious with that ball to Poch. Here's Dallas, does she go herself? Off to Russell, inside to Ernst. Classy finish from Carly.
Really nice ball movement there. And again, inside, outside.
Inside 5 minutes to play in game 1. Luffridge with the guard job on McDonald. Screen from Maylee, and Annalee now peels off. Gets to the stripe. Rochi. Russell. Poch for 3. Hauled in by Clinch Hoycard. Maylee. Little miscommunication there. High ball floats over the top of Atwell and out. Amy Atwell, stunning. 27 points. Lit up that first half on 8 for 13 shooting from long range. She's had great support. McDonald 15 and Maylee 15 and Chippertoni 12. They've spread the load well for the Flyers. Jackson's had 21, Mercedes Russell 12, Rochi 8. Lou Brown in the game. Ernst from long range. Yes, Carly.
It's great to see the Flyers bench and even the Perth bench come in here for these minutes. It's vital now that they've got to start planning for game 2.
Atwell. Harassed by Luffridge, right up and in. Amy, long range. She can do no wrong.
She's like, I haven't had a look for a little while. I'm just going to take this one.
Extraordinary performance. 30 points, 9 3-point balls today. So 27 of her 30 coming from outside the arc. And she's got it again here. Off to Maylee. Well done, Brown. It'll remain a Perth ball. Vigorous defence there from Lou Brown.
It was, being able to get to a spot and try to contest that layup. But a great decision by Annalene Maley after you had the three-point shot from Atwell in the prior possession. Get yourself on the rim, force the Flyers to have to defend. The ball gets blocked, but it's out of bounds. Now you get a chance to set up your baseline out-of-bounds play.
Annalise sits down, big smile on her face.
And why wouldn't they? I mean, what a game by the young, inexperienced Lynx.
Amy Atwell takes a seat, good child as well, and McDonald. So they're clearing their benches. Ashley Hansen's in the game. She receives now. Here's Chloe Forster. Gets a look. Off balance. Rochi comes up with it. Luffridge. Rejected by Hannon, but fouled, and she'll go to the line, Dallas Luffridge. She's appeared in 17 games this season, averaging 5 minutes a game.
Now, you like this from a psychology standpoint. I mean, you're not trying to hurt anybody. That's a legal basketball play. But even in the latter stages, the margin is what it is. But Hannon coming across and saying, you're getting nothing easy.
3 for 4 in her career from the free throw stripe, Dallas Luffridge.
It's also great to see a Dallas Luffridge get these minutes, though, and hopefully it can give them another look. I mean, if this goes to... Flyers are going to have to force this to a 3-game series. It might just be a bench player that steps up and gives them something in this series.
She's worked so hard. A 20-year-old from Beena, just about 8 k's northwest of Currumborough in Gippsland in Victoria. ACL, of course, last year, so didn't play a game. Had to work her way back from that. Forster called for the travel.
A few nerves from the youngsters here, but it's great to see them out there.
Clara Wisher out there, number 12 as well for Southside. There's Chloe Forster, 20-year-old NBL 1 rather, with the Warwick Senators. Came through the system as a train-on player in 2021, development player last year, main roster this year. Chance to be part of a championship team.
Great drive.
Potch again.
And she's so athletic, she can get to the rim in 2 strides from the three-point line.
One of the rising stars of Australian basketball, Nadia Potch.
I've asked her many a time, what's it like to just have things that easy?
What's her response?
She just smiles. She just giggles. I mean, she is just so long.
Chipotoni. Nice move. Finds Hannon. And Alex's leadership today has been critical, Riss. She's just made the right decisions at the right times.
Absolutely. They all have. They have just stuck to their plan relentlessly the whole game. And it has been really fun to watch. And no wonder they're all smiling, because no doubt it was fun to play.
Luffridge. Nadia steps inside. Will she go herself? Steps on the line. Perth ball. 2:14 to play. Game 1 of this best-of-3 series. Well done, Potch. Brown thought about giving it to Luffridge. Instead, she goes to Ernst, and why wouldn't you? Carly's made a career out of it.
That is like a layup to Ernst.
What a career she's had. Carly Ernst, phenomenal. 7 clubs in the WNBL. 3 ball from Forster. Won't drop.
They're trying to get Forster a good look.
Chloe Forster. 19th appearance this year, averaging 7 minutes a game. Luffridge to Brown. Wisher. Ernst turns around. Picked off by Hannon. Luffridge reaches in there on Forster. We saw Chloe in tears after the semi-final. It's been an emotional ride for these Perth Lynx. Means so much. They train at the same venue as the Wildcats, who have won 10 championships. There's Wildcats banners everywhere at training. There's only one for Perth. It was in 1992 with them, the Breakers, with Tom Maher and Michelle Timms. So 32 years between titles. And a chance for this young group to forge some history of their own.
And what a great story. They just scraped in to finals in 4th spot. They literally had to sit there and watch another game's result. And now look at them.
Had to win their last 3. Hannon. Their season imploded. They were 8-3. Erie McDonald went down. Without Erie, they lost 7 of 8 and ended up down in the bottom couple of spots in the ladder. It was a case of if only for Perth. They pulled the plane out of the nosedive just in time, made it through, and they've played with that freedom of, we've said a couple of times, playing with house money, which really suits their DNA, Mark.
Yeah, and clarity. And I think, you know, the lineup that we see on the floor right now and the way that they continue to play together, and they look like, you know, while not perhaps the calibre of scoring as the starting group, it still looks like Perth Lynx basketball.
Brown comes down with a rebound and is fouled.
Hannon's just making that very clear statement inside that key. You're not, as you said before, Mark, you're not going to get anything easy.
So Lou Brown, former Boomer, played a college basketball at Washington State and then at Tennessee. She's had lots of injuries. She had a foot problem in 16, then an ACL in October of 18, and then meniscus in 19. Then 2 finger injuries at the start of last season. Got bitten by a dog and then dislocated the finger as well. Just hasn't been able to get a clean run at it.
She's a great possession player too. Just does a fantastic job of keeping the basketball alive.
Forster, final minute of game 1. Chipatoni shakes Potch. Reels in the pass. It was going to the corner. Here's Forster. Yes, Chloe!
There she goes.
Join the party.
And they cracked the ton.
Well, they were heading for 120 at half-time.
Just an extraordinary performance from Perth. Luffridge jacks up a 3. And it says here, have another go. No, you go, Carly.
Yep.
And why not? I'll defer to the veteran. Forster brings it down the floor. And the Perth Lynx take game 1 on the road. Perth go a game up in the grand final and are now just 1 win away from claiming their first WNBL title in 32 years. Perth 101, Southside 79. But risk there'll be no panic from the experienced Flyers. They'll regroup, they'll focus on squaring the series in Perth this Thursday night. We've seen how resilient they are. They got belted in game 2 of the semis, came back and won game 3.
Look, this is not anywhere near how they would have liked it to go, but if ever a team knows how to bounce back, regroup, and get it done in game 2, it's the Southside Flyers.
A shell shock this afternoon when Perth just came out and lit it up from the outset. Not much anyone could do, Mark. When Perth are in that sort of form, they get the game on their terms. And someone like Amy Atwell is red hot. She was this afternoon. She had 30 points, and here she is with Candy.
30 points for you today, 22 threes for your entire team. Normally the language that you wouldn't use for a finalist, that was fun, but is that the words you would use?
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun, and it's obviously really nice when shots are dropping, and 1 through 10 on the bench we were hitting threes and getting open looks, and yeah, just a credit to all the girls.
Is copy and paste all you need to do for next game?
Yes and no. I mean, we'd like to shoot the ball like that again. We'll see what happens, but there's definitely some stuff defensively we want to clean up as well, so not copy and paste. And we know Southside's a great team. They're going to make adjustments. They're going to come out.
How valuable was it that you got that entire week's break? I know you got 3 really big training sessions in there as well. How valuable was that today?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, legs, of course, helps. And we're such a run and gun team. We want to go. And when we have that little bit extra rest, definitely helps.
You made them run a lot of this game. Are you guys a bit tired?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it was nice to get some break in the last quarter. But, I mean, yeah, it's finals. You're going to be knackered after every possession. It's all or nothing now. So, yeah.
Your team has been known for a long time for shooting that 3, but tonight you did an incredible job on defence as well. How proud of you that's what your team delivered?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everyone knows we want to run and shoot lots of threes, but I think our kryptonite all year has been the defensive end, and I think it's finals time. Everyone's going to lock in more, and I think I'm really super proud of the girls for locking in on the scout and, getting it done on the defensive end.
And, of course, being able to have game 2 now on your home court and a sellout already as well. How much does that make you smile?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, we sold that place out in literally less than 24 hours, which, to my knowledge, hasn't been done before. So, yeah, super excited.
Congratulations, Amy. What a fun game that was to watch, and good luck in the final.
Thanks, Candy.
Amy Atwell, extraordinary performance from her. We saw Annalie Maley there with her dad, Paul, who was an NBL great. Her brother, Finn Barr, who's on the North Melbourne AFL list. They're an incredible athletic family. Annalie with a big smile on her face. The great thing, Larissa, when you get to this stage and you get these opportunities as a player, every single player on both these teams has got an incredible backstory. They've all had ups and downs. They've all had adversities to overcome along the way. And it's moments like this that when you go through the tough times, you're hoping that this is somewhere off on the horizon for you.
Look, every single one of these players would have, as you said, that story, and you can just feel it with the Perth Lynx. I mean, I don't think there's a Perth Lynx player that's got a championship. So how amazingly special is this that they have just knocked off the #1 team? Well, at least they were #2 team, the high-ranked team, and they get to go home in front of a full house and get it done. It's such an inexperienced team. I just think it's such a great story. You can't help but be happy for them.
And the Flyers, so proud, so experienced. You just know they're going to come back at them in Game 2. It's going to be a fantastic contest. Well, Ryan Petrick drew up a game plan for this team. He built it around Arie McDonald. He made some tweaks when Arie was out. They added to it. He feels they're a much better side now than they were at the start of the year, and, well, the evidence suggests he's right. Here he is with Candy.
101-79. What an incredible effort, Ryan. What's your initial thoughts of that game?
Couldn't miss in the first half. We just let it fly. And again, we've been playing that way all year, but not with that level of success. When it's dropping, we're really hard to guard. And in the second half, obviously, we tried to slow it down a little bit, just trying to end the game. So I'm not sure the second half was as pretty as the first, but the first half was really special.
When I asked you at halftime what were you going to change, you said nothing. I thought you didn't want to talk to me, but then I found out, really, you really wanted to change nothing. Is that the same case going into the next game?
No, we got some things to fix, and even then I was politely lying to you. Well, the reality is, time of year, we're watching all the timeouts, we're watching all the pre-games and post-games, and because there's little nuggets left, right and centre. So we were changing things in the second half, absolutely, but I had to lie to you. I apologise.
We asked Amy as well how helpful that week was to have off. She said it was really valuable. What was it like from your perspective?
Well, it gave us extra time to prep, and it gave us some time to put in some new offences that Southside wouldn't have seen. So that's why we really wanted to get the Townsville one done in 2. Also, our style of play. Like, obviously, we know Southside played on Wednesday, and then to run into that transition game is tough with, 4 days off, where it's been a whole week to rest, recover. We've had a few flights recently, trying to rest the girls up.
And you've also had a long season of not having your team fully together. Now that they're fully together, this is what you've been wanting the whole season, right?
Been wanting to make shots. So, yeah, Arie's pretty special, and there's just no easy way to guard her. And once she forces the defensive line to collapse, like we got shooters left, right and centre.
And last question, the threes that they were shooting today, is that you instilling a whole lot of confidence or just lots of practice?
We've got pretty good shooters. Like, we've got a flow chart of what we like, what we don't like. We've still shot a few we didn't like, but they went in. Like, a couple of the Atwell ones were crazy. So, we'll take it.
Ryan, next time I come and speak to you, make sure you give me all the information, please.
Maybe not. Thanks.
Good luck.
Maybe not. First up win for Perth. They strike first in this best-of-3 grand final series. So now it's over to Southside to make the adjustments. They'll go away. They'll look at the film risk. What will they see?
The Flyers will see a whole lot of adjustments they need to make defensively. They must know where their key shooters are. As you mentioned on air, you can't cover all of them when they're shooting that well. But Atwell was clearly on fire in that first half, and they just took too long to make that adjustment.
Candy's with Beck Cole.
Beck, that was a tough one. Tell me the game from your perspective.
Embarrassing, to say the least. I feel like we just did not bring that championship energy. I guess all that championship mindset, and from the get-go we were just sort of on the back foot, and we tried, but I don't think we tried hard enough. But as embarrassing as that was, thank God it's a series, so we have to reset, we have to recharge, and we have to come, and it's do or die for us now in game 2.
There were some adjustments that you definitely made after three-quarter time, because the start of that fourth quarter was great. Some positives to take out of that. What were those changes?
Yeah, well, really, when you're down by that much, I said to the girls, let's get this momentum going in this last quarter so we're playing the way we want to when we go into game 2.
Hard luck for today, Beck, but good luck for game 2.
Thanks, Candy.
Thanks to Beck Cole for speaking with us in such circumstances. We really appreciate it. It was the Lynx taking game 1 by 22 points. And when you look at those numbers, Mark Alabakov, three-point shooting percentage going at 58%. It was right across the board. It was led by Amy Atwell, but gee, she had plenty of support. They kept kicking it out to open shooters and they kept nailing the shots.
Well, the game was on their rhythm right from the get-go, and they get 25 assists as a team. They had 4 double-digit scorers because of the catalyst of the likes of Arie McDonald and how much gravity she has. But not only the 4 double-digit scorers, they had Gorman on 9 and Goodchild on 8. Everybody plays with confidence. Everybody's ready to make and take shots when their time comes.
So we look ahead. Here's Alex Ciabattoni, who had a fantastic role to play tonight, this afternoon rather. Just did her job, showed her veteran smarts as we look ahead to Game 2 of this series at the Bendat Basketball Centre, Thursday night, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 local. Perth hosting the Flyers. The Lynx 1 win away from winning the championship. Southside 1 win away from squaring the series. Tickets available, not actually, they're available, it's sold out in Perth at the Bendat for Thursday night. It's going to be a massive crowd. Every Cygnett WNBL Grand Final match live right here on ESPN. Well, that wraps up Game 1 of our Grand Final series, the Cygnett WNBL Grand Final series. Thanks to Foot Locker. Mark, that was extraordinary.
Phenomenal. You know, to make 15 threes, shoot at the percentage that they did, over half of their shot attempts were three-point shots, and they made a stack of them. It was incredible to watch.
Reese, I can't wait to see Southside's response.
Oh, absolutely. This is why you have a series. All the basketball lovers will love this. It'll be intriguing to see the adjustments that they make.
That wraps it up. On behalf of Larissa Anderson, Mark Alabakov, Candy Hertz, our entire production team, thanks so much for watching. Join us again Thursday night, Game 2 of the Cygnett WNBL Grand Final.